My today's video is based on some major tips which we can use in order to attempt our question paper and how we can make our paper better in terms of presentation and in terms of content. Therefore, I think the first question that we must focus on as students is the understanding of the question paper. Now, it is very important to understand the question paper, that what is being asked by the examiner, what context of a particular issue has been asked by the examiner, what is the main focus of the examiner. So, first we need to read the question 1 to 2 times in order to understand that what actually the question is, and then we should start attempting the question. After reading the question, what we should do as students is to make an outline, or at least we should make some important points when we have read the question, because when we are reading a question, there are a lot of things that are coming in the mind. There are a lot of things that we have heard in our lectures, in our taking points, in our notes. So all is coming, the brain is giving the signals. So that is the reason that when you are reading the question, whatever comes in your mind, the important points, you should be taking some important points on the side of your answer script, or you should make a outline of the question, so that will facilitate you in order to complete your question, and you will not miss the points. The third important tip which I want to share with you is that once we have read the question, then we should divide our answer, and approximately we should divide our answer at least into 4 main parts. That must consist a good introduction. Then you should, if you have read different reviews about that said topic which is being there in the question, about what different writers have talked about it, or any theoretical description related to that topic, so you can also include that after introduction. So number 1 is introduction. Then you should be giving a very little literature review in order to give an impression to the examiner that you have read about different writers who have given research on the topic. Then the third main part is the main section. Now in the main section, you can include the causes of anything which is being asked, or historical background or effects, or you can define your argument, you can develop your argument, you can give implications of anything. So the main section must include the genesis of a topic as well, the effect of the topic as well, a brief historical background if it is required in the question as well. So in the main section, what we are going to do is that we have to well develop our argument. And the fourth main part of our answer should have a conclusion. Now introduction and conclusion, because you have to manage the time as well, they can be a small paragraphs, but you must always have a conclusion and you must always have an introduction. Another very important tip that I am going to share is the whole presentation of your paper. Now, if your answers will contain a table, graphs, figures, diagrams, comparative table, so it will overall increase the expression of your paper and the quality of your paper as well. So whatever answers you are giving, you must include different tables, the graphic content, you can make figures and diagrams, so it will not only increase the overall expression of the paper, but it will also save your time as well. And through these kinds of using tables and graphs, you can provide more information in a limited time period. So overall, in your content, you can provide more content in your answer by minimizing the overall length of the paper as well, and eventually by managing your time as well, because sometimes what happened that there are some questions in which we have limited time to answer those questions. So if you can use table, graph, or comparative table or diagram, so you can give the content and you can give an expression to the examiner that you know everything about that answer. So by using these you can say expressions, you can overall provide more content in your answer, and it will improve the quality of your answer. Another very important thing is that your paper should be neat and clean. It should be readable, it should be clearly readable, and we should try to not to have grammatical mistakes, because overall it reduces the expression of our paper. Then another very important thing is that when we are attempting the paper as university students, so what my advice to you would be that you should not use many color markers and that stuff, and rather 1 or 2 color markers are more than enough. Moreover, the use of headings is a very important part of the overall presentation of the paper. So one must always use different headings in order to complete their questions. So heading and subheadings are a very important part. But on the same hand, if you are using a heading and you are just writing 1-2 lines beneath the heading, so it will also not give a very good expression to the examiner. So if you are using a heading or a subheading, at least you should be giving a paragraph for it. Then another useful tip would be that you must not skip too much space between the words and overall writing in order to cover the pages. So good content is always the king. So if you are giving good content in less pages also, you will be getting marks. So that is the reason that it does not overall give a good expression, because if you are using 5 or 4 words in one line, so that means that you have a less content and you are trying to give an expression that you are trying to make your paper or your overall question lengthy. So it does not give a good expression or to the examiner. So you should avoid more spaces in the words and in overall writing, and the page should when we read a page, or page should come in front of the examiner, so it should be full of words. Another very important thing is time management. Time management is so important that if you know all the answers of every question in your paper, and if you have not really managed your time, so your content would be wasted, and eventually you will not be attempting a very good paper. So time management is very important. Now the first part of time management is that you should manage your overall time with the number of questions asked. For instance, if 5 questions are asked in the paper, so you should divide your time according to that 5 question. You should mostly what happened that we always attempt the first question that we know the best, and we give a lot of time to the first question. But what happened, the first question has limited marks. If you have done 100%, even then the examiner is going to mark that first question. For example, if it is for 10 marks or 15 marks or 20 marks, and if you are giving 1 or 1.5 hour to that question, so it does not make any sense, and it will eventually affect all your content and all your time that you are giving to the other 4 questions. So that means that if you have a 3-hour paper, you are giving 1 hour to 1 question and 2 hours to 3 questions. So that is the reason that you should manage the time in such a way that you should be giving equally time to every question, or at least you should be managing the time in such a way in which you feel very comfortable that you will be able to provide the content and answer the question of every question. Moreover, what I would suggest you that everyone should keep a watch with them. So you can keep an eye on yourself by checking the time instead of just asking everyone. One must have a watch, so you can manage your time by yourself. Another very important thing is that you must decide that which question you are going to attempt first and which question you are going to attempt last. Mostly what happened that the question which we are very confident of, and the question which we feel that we can answer the best, we first attempt that question, and the question that we feel that we cannot answer the best, we always do in the last. But I think that it is a wrong combination. What overall you can do is that if you are the first question, you are doing the first question that you know is the best is correct, Then the second question, it may not be the second best question, it may be the question which you may not know very well, so you can just go and attempt that question which you do not know very well, as a second question or as a third question. And again, in the last question should be that question which you know very well about. So overall it will be giving a good impression to the examiner that overall you know about the subject and you know about the topic. Another important thing is that sometimes we are not very sure about some factual information, time period, some statistics. So there we should avoid mistakes, and instead of writing a wrong, you can say, fact, you should think smart. And for instance, if you are not very sure about that something happened in 1980, 81 or 82, so instead of writing 80, 81, 82, you can write during 1980. So you will not be incorrect in a sense. For instance, if you have to give some examples and you are not very sure about many examples and you are sure about two examples, so instead of writing many incorrect examples, you should quote the ones which you are very sure about. Moreover, always try to recheck and recall the facts and figures which you are going to put on your paper, because when you will recheck, there are chances that you may get along the right answer. Therefore, rechecking is also very important. For instance, if you know 1-2 writers, so you can just name them and then you can say that author 1, author 2 and others. So this is also one technique. Then another very important thing is that you must always use linking words during your paragraphs when you are writing an answer. For example, moreover, therefore, in addition to it, furthermore, consequently, likewise. These all are connecting words, and overall it will make your answer a very, you can say that it will create connectivity with your sentences and with your paragraphs. So overall expression of your writing will be very good. So you must always use these kinds of linking words in your paragraphs. Moreover, if you want to make points, you can use bullets to give points. Then making points is also a very important thing, that you can provide more information. So you can use bullets, or you can use such words that firstly, secondly, thirdly. So these are, you can have a very systematic, you can say, development of your argument through these small things. The last thing that I want to share with all of you is that most of the time what happens, that every time we are using mobile phone, we are having mobile conversations, or we are using social media, so we are in habit of using different slang words or short form of words to communicate. But that communication is not appropriate when you are attempting a question paper for your exams. So in your examination, you should use formal language and you should not be using those short words. For example, most of the time what happens, that instead of the, we use h in our sentences when we are writing on a social media, or when we are writing in a mobile conversation, or so these kinds of short words should be avoided, because it does not give a good impression to the overall your examination. So for instance, if you are using government, so you should write the whole word government instead of just writing govt. So it will not be overall giving a good impression of you to the examiner. The last tip that I want to share is that whatever is the requirement of the question paper, the examination, whatever number of questions are being asked, if it has been written that attempt all the questions, so you should always attempt all the questions in an examination. If it is that you should do 4 out of 5 questions, so you should try to do the 4 questions. So you should always fulfill the requirement. Skipping the whole question and not attempting the question does not provide a good impression on the examiner. And you should also prepare for your examination in such a way that you should not do such selective study that you have to skip the whole question. So it also affects the overall impression of you on the examiner. So you should try your best to attempt all the question. And a very important thing is that you will not skip your questions if you are regular in your class, because when we are writing, when we are attempting a paper, our mind is working in such a way that we have different glimpse of the lectures, what we read, what we heard. So overall, if you are regular in your classes, and if you are regular in your all the tasks of the classes, so it is not difficult to attempt all the questions, and you can attempt all the questions even if you don't have a very you can say high proportion of content for that question. And that question which you think that you are the weakest, you should attempt that question within the middle. Because for instance, if you have 5 questions, so that question which you think that you are the most weakest in it, so that should be your third question, and then you should attempt the other questions. So that was all, and I hope that this video will facilitate you in some sense, and those students who are going to give their papers a very